MyuNgSiK needs to stay composed going into Game 3. herO taking that 2-0 lead. Very few players ever recover from this. You know, we talked about the results we had from some of these players. Just a lot of 3-0s. You know, for example, herO lost 0-4 to Dream. You get that 2-0 lead, you get the 3-0 lead, you get the 4-0. You know, it's a really common thing. The first match is the most important. When you start to get momentum, it's easy to fall apart. The third map is going to be Echo. So we're going back to these smaller maps. Another 2-player map here from MyuNgSiK to use his strategy over herO's macro and late game. All right, guys, it's starting right here, right now. Match point for CJ's herO versus MyuNgSiK. Down here in the bottom right in red, it's herO. His opponent to the top left in blue, teamless, it's MyuNgSiK. It all comes down to this for MyuNgSiK. He now has to win 3 Protoss versus Protosses in a row, and one of the best PvP players in the world is his opponent, herO. A master of Blink, a master of late game. MyuNgSiK has tried his hand at gimmicks twice in a row, both times coming up empty. So, let's see if MyuNgSiK can bring us into a straight-up game, or if he's got plan C going into another one of our smaller maps, Echo. Proxying on this map a little bit tougher to pull off than some of our 4-player maps, just simply because it's a lot smaller. There's a lot less locations that are actually viable for proxies. Proxy Stargate on this map is just out of the question. Considering how much herO is scouting, how consistently he is scouting, how well he's prepared for this specific matchup versus MyuNgSiK, versus the strategist, I feel like Proxy Stargate is absolutely not the way to go about things. MyuNgSiK with a quick cyber core compared to herO. herO's pylon, I think, even in the beginning was a little bit late, so I think a few mistakes, or like one tiny mistake, so that could be it as well. I didn't check the exact timing of the gateway, so it might just simply be that herO's slightly behind rather than MyuNgSiK rushing this out. By the way, it's ahead. Now he's put what I like to call a Maka pylon at the natural, and this will throw herO off if herO probe scouts or sends a mothership scout early on into the main. The Zealot will likely be cancelled. Looks like herO just wants to skip a scout, and he's making the Zealot in case he's proxying and he needs it, and we'll probably just cancel it. But that pylon that's at the natural might throw herO off, might make him think a pylon is missing, and that he needs to go scout for proxy Stargates. He might play a little bit of extra defensive game as a result. There's the cancel on the Zealot. He's going to rush out a Stalker now. But this probe will come in here, see everything. Stargate in the main. That usually, from MyuNgSiK, means Phoenixes. MyuNgSiK built his career off of that unit, especially in the earlier stages of Heart of the Swarm. And no surprises to see a Twilight Council from herO. MyuNgSiK now moving across the map with a Stalker. Will meet herO's Stalker, gets the first shot. They both can trade. Usually MyuNgSiK going to be the one who's scared. The second Stalker will come to join though, so he backs off. Only shields traded there. The robotics back at home is for safety. And herO will likely commit to Blink. That probe down to the natural, but not making a Nexus. Looks like he wants to send it across the map to hide a pylon. A forward warp in position. MyuNgSiK is looking around the map. So far hasn't been able to find anything. On a second Phoenix, and adds an Immortal. So he's going to have the answer to this. herO adds now his own safety robotics, so he doesn't die to DTs. Because remember, this is herO's first move out onto the map with this probe. No scouting whatsoever. Drops a Nexus. And if MyuNgSiK makes a second Immortal before he makes a Nexus, this could cause problems for herO. Notice he's making an Observer right now for safety. Or rather, it could cause problems for MyuNgSiK. herO is able to identify there's no Nexus, so that's going to make him feel really good about his choice here. His Blink is almost done, and he's going to keep it because it's going to give him some extra flexibility through the mid-game. Just adds a sentry, is on the defensive here in his main base because he knows, okay, he's on one base, something is going on, I don't know what. Going to be ready for everything. Running out, another Immortal. Now, 2 Phoenixes can kill the probe. Well, as many probes as they can lift, it just takes a while. He might be looking for the sentry. Too hard. 4 Stalkers there, it's not going to happen. MyuNgSiK only now adds his Mothership Core. So, getting that up right now. A little bit delayed, but with all the commitment to gas he did earlier on the Robo, plus the Phoenixes, all the Immortals, it's an expensive unit to squeeze in. Roaming around the right side now, trying to find something. Unsuccessful. Worker count's even. The game in general is even. With the Observer linking up with these Phoenixes, it looks like he might try to snipe herO's Scouting Observer. And there he goes. He's going for it. And he gets it. He kills the Observer. herO still with 1 Observer at his natural. But interesting choices here by MyuNgSiK. Now rushing out of Forge for faster upgrades. He's going to attempt to challenge herO in the late game. Phoenix is found here. Good reaction. Pulls away. If he's able to identify the Observers following him and he brings his own Observer over, away from the Stalker range, he could pick it off. Looks like he's not going to try for anything that crazy. He will see this Hallucination Scout with his own Observer and might be able to cut it off. Just looking at the minimap, he is heading around for it. But this is shaping up to be a pretty even game. Robo Bay on the way, faster from MyuNgSiK. Again, the faster +1. herO actually currently supply blocked just for a moment. Gets his own +1, only a few seconds behind. So MyuNgSiK has 2 Immortals. herO will also have 2 Immortals, the one he's producing right now. The only thing he's missing is a Robo Bay. Worker count's pretty even, MyuNgSiK with a slight lead. Obviously, herO has the better army if they were going to fight straight up because he has Blink, but it's just not going to happen. So MyuNgSiK has cut some corners to give himself a slight lead in this game. Just in how he's ahead in production on some very important structures and upgrades. But overall, this game is about as even as it gets. Again, using these Phoenixes to scout. Can always threaten with them. Can always kill a probe or 2. Very rare to find real damage with only 2 Phoenixes. They can also pick up 2 Immortals in a clutch fight, prevent a retreat, prevent a blink on some, just 2 Stalkers. Small utility here. Not as useful as, say, an Oracle, for example, but still useful. Can also shut down Warp Prisms. And that might be part of the reason why he's doing this, expecting the Warp Prism harass. Forcing a Nexus Cannon here. This herO was a bit panicked because most of his Stalkers were away. Didn't want to lose his Mothership Core. So that's a nice thing you can do even with a Hallucination. Faster Colossus production goes to MyuNgSiK. He's got 1 out already. 3 Immortals to 2. Faster range, a second Immortal. The only thing he's behind on now is his 3rd base. herO has taken that much faster. He's going to move out after seeing this with his Phoenixes. This is risky. They're both going to be on +1. He does have those Phoenixes, but if he gets blinked on top of, I don't think he's going to win this fight. He also doesn't have a Warp Prism or any sort of reinforcing power. This is really risky by MyuNgSiK. Stalkers do not blink on top of those Immortals, though, especially the Phoenixes here. And I'm a bit wary of this attack. Down goes an Observer. He's got the high ground, he just recalls. This is 1 more Stalker. Causing him some of his Mothership Core energy, but he's got the faster +2. He's going to have the faster range. He now has the faster charge. Kind of just a fake move out there. You can see his third base is slightly behind here. Well, not massively. Adding extra gateways. Even in workers. These Phoenixes have actually given him so much vision. Ooh, we should lose them here, though, because of Blink. And that's the end of that. +2, charge, lining up here. herO also adding his additional gateways. MyuNgSiK has a faster gases, I believe. Just slightly. Again, we're really just trying to find any sort of information to give you guys into this slow mid-game. As this is MyuNgSiK's third time ever in a Korean round of 8. A win here would be his first round of 4 finish. Cooling tower destroyed for herO. Templar Archives ahead, second Robo ahead. Everything MyuNgSiK is doing is slightly ahead. But if you can't find an advantage with it, it doesn't matter. Okay, charge is finished. Does eliminate one of hero's stalkers. Small victory. And Protoss versus Protoss, wow. Look at that, 9 units lost to 5, but still equal in units, resources lost. Oh, a bit of a mistake here for herO. Only losing 1 stalker again, but a lot of hit points. A lot of the time in PvP, when you get to the stage of the game, if you're slightly ahead, you still can't attack, because by the time you get there, he's going to have that extra Colossus. He's going to have that extra warp in, and he's going to have the defensive position. So while MyuNgSiK does have the better upgrades and better Colossus production, and the faster Temple Archive, the faster Archons, he can't do anything with that right now. In fact, he may even take a 4th base here. It's tough to take a 4th on this map in PvP. Well, it's tough to take a 4th base in any map in PvP, but in this map in particular, both bases are exposed. About equidistant from either the 3rd base or the 4th base. Usually players will take the one that's closer to their natural. That 4th base location. I said their natural or their 4th base, but I mean their 3rd base or their natural. MyuNgSiK's pylon will be destroyed here. And he will spot herO's forward pylon. Perhaps herO's posturing for an attack. He needs to be ready for this. Probably wants to drop out another hallucination scout. It's just those marauding Blink Stalkers, though. Alright, let me take a look at Colossus counts. 7 Colossi to 4 in favor of MyuNgSiK's Colossus. Making his 8th and final Colossus, and now switching into Archons. This is a kind of a cool choice because Archons can be made instantly, and they can be made anywhere. Colossi, not so much. So I like his choice to commit to the Colossi first, whereas herO spent a lot of his money on the Archons first. There's now 2 Colossi down when it matters most. Here comes the move out. This could be what decides this game. A huge Blink Stalker counterattack from herO, but that means those units are not going to be here for the fight. Let's see if they can find damage. A Zealot Warpin at home can actually deflect these. He has to go around. There is a cannon here. Again, these Stalkers are missing from the fight. And there's that Zealot Warpin I was talking about. Uh-oh. herO does not want to get caught in his main base here. Well, he's got the Colossus deficit. This is a great position for MyuNgSiK to force a fight. Look at that choke point, even formed by his gateways. He can't get down here. Mothership Core is exposed, but there's nothing that MyuNgSiK can do to punish. Does not have enough Stalkers. The defense is complete. MyuNgSiK is up 20 supply. He's got the bigger Zealot count. Colossus count 8 to 8 now, but he's got the way better position. He's going to split off some of those units to start picking at the 3rd base. Great positional play here by MyuNgSiK. Really punishing herO's building placement, as well as his hesitation to move out of the natural. And if herO doesn't take a bad engagement, he's going to lose his 3rd base. It's a pretty lose-lose position here for herO, and he's going to go for it. He decides not to. Again, lose-lose. Down he goes. And look at this, charged Zealots. A concave of Colossi. herO's army can never challenge this. Never going to happen. Plus, the +1 armor for herO is the only advantage he has. And MyuNgSiK's concave is just going to push him back. Good splitting here from herO. It's not going to be enough. However, Zealot Warpins come from behind. And MyuNgSiK does have to kite back. He needs more Warpins. He needs to target those Colossi, and there he goes. 2 of the Colossi do fall. He needs to pull back, though. He needs to get behind his own Zealots. And so far he does. And it looks like that is going to be game. MyuNgSiK will take game number 3. And we are going to a 4th game. Doubling herO's supply now. Look at herO's bank. He cannot spend it. Look at that. A huge Stalker warp in. And he blinks on top of the Colossus, but now his Stalkers are in bad shape. Even having to pick several of them up in the Warp Prism. He's just simply going to be overwhelmed now by Charged Zealots. Good Warp Prism micro here by MyuNgSiK as well. herO wanted to close it out with a clean sweep. It's not going to happen. GG. MyuNgSiK takes game 3. Takes a sip of that Red Bull. So we are in for a long one, herO. Great positional play there. Forcing mistakes out of herO. Forcing herO to take a bad engagement. Not choking when it mattered most. He wants this so bad. It would be his best finish ever to get a top 4. herO's coach comes in, giving him some advice here. Perhaps like, don't overreact about the faster charge. Don't form a wall in like that. And if you're going to, maybe come into the in between your bases so your opponent can't pigeonhole you into that concave where you're always going to have a bad engagement. So I'm going to get confirmation in just a moment if we are going to a commercial break or not. We are. It's going to be a 5-minute break. We'll be right back.